myself.
Yeah, that's important.
Come on.
Pre-show has started.
Okay, so I'm going in and out, but that's okay. So I'm going in and out, but that's okay. So now we do this. And click. That's okay. Turn that off. And I want to see something. Okay.
Did you leave that comment?
Yes.
Okay.
I went on
Okay, that's cool.
the YouTube to test to see if it would
Yeah.
drop the comment.
Okay, cool. Are you all shared up?
I will be. I just wanted to make sure everything was working the way I wanted it to.
Once you're all shared up, then I'll start you can start the timer.
Where? Let's go. Big. So turn that off. Okay, so then we gotta close that. See, I'm here. I'm going in and out. It must be because of the fan. I'm not gonna worry about it because as long as it goes out on.
Yeah, it's coming out on my end fine.
Okay. Because it seems like this headphone keeps bouncing in and out.
Yeah.
I don't know who Matt Ball is. I'm trying to think. I got all these names of people that I don't remember. I gotta make a date. I gotta make a date for Jeff Steinberg to come on.
Good idea.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be good. Click. Okay, so we're at 6:54, and we'll see how things go. Okay, so. Oh, you tighten that down. I didn't realize you tightened down the stream deck.
I did?
That's what it feels like.
Oh.
The
Why, you don't like it where it is?
No, I wanted to be able to turn it a little bit, but that's not a problem.
Okay.
So here we go. Timer's going. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mick'S World. And yes, I did make it back from the woods. I was out in the woods at Camp Samwood helping the Boy Scouts learn wilderness first aid. I also helped cook in the kitchen and dealt with a few other things, which was very interesting. Had a nice campfire. Got to talk to some people that I haven't talked to in a while. Learned a few things. Became a patient once in a while.
Now, if you go to that YouTube site and just do a bunch of hellos, you can bump her off. Or you don't. There doesn't have to be a low, like, no bad comments.
I know where that one came from. That wasn't YouTube.
Oh,
I know where that came from. I'll fix it in a few minutes.
okay.
But like I said, I had a blast. My buddy was out there. We got some time to talk, chit chat, have fun. And then
You're going to share your photos?
I may actually share my photos later. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
But like I said, I got to cook, play a victim. I ended up dead from a lightning strike. I had a few other little incidents. Fish hook in the hand, hypothermia, cyanotic, shock. You know, just the normal fun stuff for falling in the water, with the little hypothermia. So I missed two good events. I missed really one. Well, yeah, two good events. I missed the bonfire, the Jim Prey Memorial Bonfire, which I heard was actually fun. I then missed the Snuggled in Love event, which I didn't really want to, but you know, I make a promise and I try to keep it. So, what was I gonna say? My I've been invited back next year. My next big adventure will be probably Nickel City Comic Con, if I decide to do that. And then also, I've been invited to go up to Bond Lake this year for to try some fly fishing. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about that yet. So, what was I going to say? There's a few other things that I'm going to be doing on top of my normal, everyday routine. I'm going to be probably, depending on the weather in the next few days, I'm going to be probably going back up to Niagara Falls to shoot pictures, helping people out that need help, helping a nice lady I met at the film festival move her stuff since somebody doesn't want to do that because they're just too lazy. Let's see what else. I had my 54th birthday was sometime this week. On top of that, I've been asked to do a few different photo shoots and filming for an independent movie. Hopefully that will go well. I gave the director of that independent movie my rules for doing it, but we'll see how things work out. And what else we got going on? Come on, Mike, think. July 11th is the Snuggled in Love Christmas in July and school supply thing for people who are at Snuggle in Love. That's somebody I forgot to add. I wanted to share too. If he's on here. But I will be making plans in the near future to do a whole bunch of stuff. Come on. Where are you at? And we'll see how this works out. Oh, I didn't send it. Damn it. Yeah, the great Buddha who's lazy and doesn't want to actually do things to help people. But we won't get into that because I'm not going to badmouth somebody. There's people on here that do that on their own, ruin other people's shows to badmouth stuff. And I will be right back. What else do I got going on? So, yeah, like I said, things will be taken care of. I started my show, and if you read the description of the show, I will only be taking comments from people, comments and questions from people who actually have something that can speak nicely about people and can also have comments that are related to the subject. Which today we are actually going to have a subject that we're going to discuss for a few minutes. The subject is June. June has been Pride Month. I had a friend who went to the Pride Parade. They said they had fun. Again, the Pride Parade, is like going to Anime North. If you don't bring water and stuff, you are going to dehydrate and become a medical emergency. Actually, I knew a few people. There's been a couple different events going on. I know Allentown got rained out last week. There has been some nice windstorms. One of my friends had a tree fall down on their fence slash. What was I gonna say? Had a tree fall down in their backyard that smashed their fence. A 40-year-old ash, and he described it. The roots were the size of scuba tanks, and they snapped in a 20 mile per hour wind with 55 mile per hour gusts. And I know exactly. I've seen those gusts before. I've been out to sea. I lived in Louisiana for a few years, so I've seen tornadoes. I've seen hurricanes. I've seen my share of flooding, and that wind's no joke. And if it took down a 40-year-old tree, imagine what that would do to your car or your house or whatever. But getting back to what I was saying, I've noticed something in my city at least. Last year, I think it was, they did a pride celebration in one of the parks. They did a pride celebration in one of the parks. And so how bad was the rain, Rob? And I'm going to say something, and this isn't to go against anybody, but I'm sick and tired of people having their minions cause issues. And most of the time, let's be honest, it's people that don't know what they're talking about or have things that they shouldn't be talking about. Oh, damn. How big? Do you have an idea about how big the hail was? If it was golf ball size, just normal, small, sleety hail, But, there is people that I know that have minions. I'll call them, I'm going to be honest. They have people that are minions that don't realize they're being used until they get sick and tired of it and walk away. I, for example, know that there are some individuals in my circle that do that. They use and abuse people over and over until the point of making them tired of them. And I've talked to a lot of people big enough to do damage. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check when I get home. Hopefully, there wasn't any damage to where I think there was. On top of everything else, we've got there's a few different things, but I'm bitching and moaning, and I'll be blunt. I'm sick and tired of people in North Tonawanda not having a place to swim. Supposedly they're building a new swim complex, but you know what? That new swim complex is not going to be ready until 2028, 2029. So where are these people going? Where are these people going to swim? Where are these people going to enjoy themselves? I'm sick and tired of it's the same thing over and over again. And it's just gotten ridiculous. They built a bike path that they're working on finishing, and then we have the people who have then we have the people who like we got the bicyclist. Why doesn't the school open their pool up during the summer? I'm guessing it's insurance reasons. But, I literally looked into asking a program. I asked about a program through the schools, and they said they don't do that. There's been a few other different things. As time goes on, you'll see changes. Here's a perfect example. They have stop signs on the corner of Goundry and Webster instead of the traffic lights because they're putting up new traffic lights. That is more of a hazard than anything else. We all know people don't pay attention to stop signs. We all know people don't pay attention to stop signs. How they don't even pay attention to the kids on the electric scooters. Hell, I was away on Friday, and I saw a message somebody posted about an accident at Rui Road and Nash, where a kid got smashed on an electric scooter by a vehicle. And all of a sudden, the community is upset, but there's no rules, no laws, no official documentation for these people to have these. These electric scooters. I'm not talking the electric scooters that you sit on and you ride. I'm talking about the other ones. It was Meadow and Nash. Okay. So I'm confused. I was a little off. But, it's really bad when these kids are getting smashed. We've had bicyclists get smashed on Twin City Highway. The memorial is still up for the guy that got smashed a few years ago in a car and died. There's been so many car versus pedestrian, car versus bicyclist, car versus scooter person. Hell, one of the biggest issues is cars versus motorcycles. I have lots of friends who own motorcycles and ride them. They need to people have to be considerate. Let's just be honest. People have to be considerate. But then also the kids that are riding these electric scooters need to watch what they're doing. Hell, I was sitting at a stoplight. A kid crossed one street and then crossed the other one right as the light was turning green. There was a thing on Facebook talking about one of the people that were there for the accident that saw a bunch of kids going against the stoplight. There was another person who posted that there was a fire truck across the street from them, and they were on the other side of the street, and a kid blew through the signs and almost got smashed by the fire truck, but the fire truck didn't roll yet. And then on top of that, let's talk about Robinson. They just paved Robinson from Twin City Highway to Payne. I give it a couple months, and then you'll be able to walk from Twin City. Walk from Twin City Highway to Robinson or down Robinson, and look at the cracks that'll be in the asphalt. What was I saying? Okay, on top of that, we got Farmers Market, guys. Check out the North Tonawanda Farmers Market. Opens at 7 o'clock, closes at 1. Opens at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, closes at 1. There are not a lot of vendors there during the weekdays, but Tina the Cheese Lady's there. There's the diehard people that are at the corner of the building when you come in. I know that when I started going to the farmers market, there was a lot more. There was a lot more vendors. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about the roads. The only reason Robinson got redone, let's be honest, the only reason they decided to fix Robinson is because the tractor trailers have to go through there to get to River Road. There's not an alternate route that people will allow them to use, take their trucks and make the alternate route. There's the truck repair place up there near the farmers market. There's the fire trucks. The heavy trucks go through there all the time. And then you got to figure between Twin City Highway and Payne, Oliver, and River Road, that's the main thoroughfare through there. There's not many roads you can actually take a tractor trailer down and make the turns that need to be made. Like, perfect example, the turn to get onto Robinson from River Road, they have the stop lines drawn back so the trucks can come around that corner and have that wide right-hand turn. I've witnessed a few times really close and up personal of those trucks almost smashing somebody because there's not enough room. But, like we used to have really good businesses on Oliver. Can't go on Young Street or they'll get stuck under the bridge. Yeah, I know. They can't go on Young Street. They can't go on, they have to literally take River Road to Williams and then up Williams to get up onto Niagara Falls Boulevard if they're coming the back way, because they can't jump on they cannot jump on the Seaway Trail due to the fact that there's super low bridges there. Hell, there's been times I've been driving in there and I saw tractor trailers and I've seen people hauling their campers that have had to pull off into the safe spot and have the state troopers escort them off of the Seaway Trail or whatever it's called. There's bridges in North Tonawanda that are too low for tractor trailers to go through, like the one up on Tremont. I'm waiting for somebody to whack that, or and then if they want to get into Tonawanda, there's only 3 ways from North Tonawanda: the River Road Bridge, the Main Street Bridge, or the bridge coming or over by Webster. How are you going to get you're going to take a tractor trailer over those? Hell, if one of those things are screwed, there goes the boats. And let's not even get started about our mayor canceling the Canal Fest Bridge or the Canal Fest Parade. Some people say it's Tonawanda's fault. Some people are saying that, budget cuts had to be done. And let's not talk about the lady, the treasurer who ripped off money. But if we want to get on to who's ripping off who, let's talk about some of these bigger stores. Like, I'm not going to name a name, but ones that can change their price. Ones that can change their price while you're walking with the item from the shelf to the front before they can change their price digitally. I'm going to be blunt. I went to Walmart yesterday for a few things. And because of the construction, they closed the Walmart Way is what it's called. It's the street that comes off of Wurlitzer in through behind Walmart that takes you to the Walmart parking lot. That was closed. That made it harder on people who are used to taking that way. They had to come back out, circle around, go back up on the Niagara Falls Boulevard and make that turn. And let's not talk about the bullshit that's going on in the Wurlitzer area. You have the Wurlitzer building, you put in a storage joint, you put in a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and you put in a frickin' Taco Hell. Plus whatever else they're planning on building. That's ridiculous. The car shows used to go up there every Monday. They stopped going up there. The hang on. The car show stopped going up there. You don't hear about a lot of events wanting to be up on it by Wurlitzer, the Wurlitzer building. The only good thing that's holding the Wurlitzer building together is Platters moved into there. I blame the city of Tonawanda for Canal Fest being ruined. They don't want to pay their cops. But see, here's the problem, Rob, especially with that. It should be they don't want to pay their cops. They don't want to pay their EMS. Let's be honest. They don't want to pay their EMS. They didn't want to supply EMS on standby for the entire Canal Fest. North Tonawanda had EMS on standby for the whole Canal Fest. And let's not get me started on Twin City Ambulance, please. 15, 20-minute response time to places in North Tonawanda. People can die in 15 to 20 minutes. If you have somebody who is in cardiac arrest, they need care right away. And the North Tonawanda firemen that show up are not trained paramedics. They're probably, at the best, basic or advanced EMTs. They are not paramedics. So that person is going to die. Yeah, you can do chest compressions all you want. At a certain point, chest compressions are not the only thing that's going to save somebody. their monitor could be used as an AED. I don't know. But again, you need to realize what you're doing, people. Go out, get basic CPR, take basic first aid classes, protect yourself, protect your family, protect your kids. If you can't do that, then there's not a problem. I just saw a post on Facebook that supposedly, I think it's tomorrow, they're having the North Tonawanda Firemen's Parade. So what are they going to do? They're going to get all of what? The all of 30 volunteer firemen to walk the parade route. We don't even have volunteers very much anymore. Our volunteers have gone down. Our numbers have gone down. The only place that has volunteers is Sweeney Hose, right next to the fire station or the fire command center, because that's where all the volunteers were pushed when they were having volunteers. We used to have Active Hose, Live Hose, Columbia Hose, and I don't know if there was any other ones, but those were the three major volunteer companies within the area. Active Hose was on Oliver. Live Hose was on Goundry next to down the street from the post office. Active Hose is on Oliver, and Columbia Hook and Ladder was right there in downtown near Webster. Those are all dead. Barely anybody is still members of those. And if they're members, they're honorary members or members who no longer have to serve as active firemen. Hell, I haven't seen a good response from even the paid guys in a long time. One person in a fire truck, and then 3 or 4 people in the chief's truck and the first aid truck. 5 people standing on your porch who have no idea how to save your life if they needed to. And then you cut two fire stations out of the plan. The rescue truck used to be right there on Payne Avenue. And then over by where Save Right and the parts store, I can't think of the name of the parts store, but Rob knows what I'm talking about. Over there was the other fire company right next to a school. That's gone and closed because of budget cuts. Where's all this money going? Where is all this? Where's all of our tax dollars? Where's all our tax dollars going? Where's all this money that they're getting in state grants? I know for damn sure every volunteer department in North Tonawanda was getting $30,000. The paid department was getting $30,000 a year in funding from Niagara County for each volunteer department they had open. Now they can't even muster a platoon. But it's because people don't want to volunteer. But here's a little secret nobody knows, nobody's told. You get removed from one fire company, you cannot volunteer in North Tonawanda ever again. But if you ask the chief, he'll tell you he doesn't know anything about that. You know. And then you've got all this extra crap going on. You've got all this extra crap. Okay, perfect example. They're down to only 2 lanes on. They're down to 2 lanes on the 190 between exit 3 and the South Ogden exit because they're getting ready to resurface that area. They're talking the entire 190 is going to be resurfaced by 2028. So what does that mean? They're going to work until it becomes fall, shut down the road, shut down the resurfacing until next spring, and then continue. All of this stuff's going to be open. Hell, the Ralph Wilson Park should have been open years ago. That's still under construction, still under being built. They're tearing down the Ralph Wilson Stadium to put up that piece of crap that they call Highmark Stadium. You have to pay like $500 for seats to have your seats reserved. Yeah, Rich Stadium. I call it Ralph Wilson Stadium because that's what it actually was. That's what it was originally named, the Ralph Wilson Stadium. You know, that's why I don't pay attention to you. But, you know, and people bitch. You know, I'll make a comment and I'll say it straight up, and I know Rob's watching. Rob, between me and you, I think yours and Russ's show is one of the better shows on here, not counting the shows like Peace Center, not counting the Peace Center, not counting the No Exit Experience, not counting other ones. But literally, Rob and Russ, you guys both talk about the sports. You talk about it with passion. And then, Rob, when you're on here with Jason and Richard, you guys are covering topics that need to be covered and discussed more and more every day. You know, yeah, I'll admit it straight up. Sometimes I feel like there are certain opinions that don't need to be expressed, but that's life. It's somebody else's, you know. See, there's the problem, Vanessa. You try to destroy people's shows, talk shit about their shows, and then turn around and try to kiss their ass. I'm sick and tired of that bullshit. That is not a game. This is not a fucking game. These people take an hour out of their day to try to do a show so people can enjoy it. Yeah, I'm a good host because I know who to contact. And matter of fact, I know who I'm going to be hopefully trying. I'm trying to get a gentleman that I've had on my show before to come back. When he does come back, it's going to be an interesting show. The gentleman has his own music, his own DVDs, and stuff like that. Plus, on top of that, I'm planning on having a show with a special kid. Let's just say he's special because he is. He's very special and very talented and very loved by people in the area. I'm also going to be trying to get a few other people on, get some of the independent wrestlers to come on and comment, talk, and stuff like that. The more and more we push to get our shows out there, make our shows great again, and I'm sorry if I use that term, but it's true, to make our shows great for everybody who's viewing. I don't care if I have 100 views, I have 10 views. I don't do this for the views. I do this to please me, to please the people who watch, to get information out there, like the wrestling show, to get independent wrestling out there, to talk about the charities, to talk about dog rescues. That's all on me. I enjoy doing that with people. You know, I enjoy talking to the dog rescues. I enjoy having the conversations with the wrestlers. I enjoy having a few other, there's a few things that I'm going to actually have to start making. What the fuck? Let's see. I lost my freaking train of thought on what I wanted to do. Oh, there it is. The last show you had, I liked your special guest. Oh, you mean Primal Warpath and his son? Primal Warpath is the commissioner, the temporary commissioner of Nickel City Wrestling, and he had a wrestling match with one of the other independent wrestlers, and it was a grudge match. And I'll be honest, it was a straight up grudge match. The other wrestler laid his hands on his son, which you do not do. And don't mess with Mister, because Mister will beat your ass, and so will Primal Warpath. He will hand you your ass on a platter. But let's talk about a little history of Primal Warpath. Primal Warpath started a wrestling group out towards Dunkirk called MFW. He also wrestled for OSPW. He wrestled for ESW. He's wrestled for Nickel City Wrestling. And maybe once in a while, I think he's been out to UPW. Okay, let's talk about, since I've had my rants and raves, I'm gonna name wrestlers who are in professional wrestling right now that are from this area. We're gonna start with Daniel Garcia. Tony D'Angelo. Beth Phoenix was a nurse at the VA hospital. Marvelous Mark Merrill came from Buffalo. Then we have Hacksaw Jim Duggan out of Glen Falls, New York. But, you know, the one big, he's a face for right now. But he can be a heel if he has to be. But what was I saying? There have been and then one of the wrestlers who passed away, Brody Lee, used to wrestle out of Rochester. His family's from Rochester, New York area. His son is wrestling in, I think it's CZW, and he just took on Joey Janela. But you know, there's been a lot of different things. Yeah, Lex Luger is from Orchard Park. I knew a gentleman who has since passed away, who met Lex Luger while he was in rehab for his legs. And let's all be honest, straight up and honest. These guys put their asses on the line. They get hurt. Look at Lex Luger. After he stopped being able to work out and taking the roids. We all know he took some steroids. He had to keep his body going. He turned into a skeleton. Let's look at some of these independent wrestlers. Like the guys I have on. The guy I work for at Nickel City Wrestling has to have a double hip replacement. One of the other wrestlers has had both knees, had tears in both knees. There was a wrestler who broke his back. There was a wrestler who broke his back because he did a move wrong at an independent show in Tonawanda. There was a wrestler who split his skull open doing a move in over at the fire station off of Ward Road. There was a wrestler who did a flip and broke his leg hitting the railing when he did the flip. Hell, I was there when Brody Lee dived over the top rope and ended 3 rows in and kicking some guy in the head with his boot. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. These guys put their asses on the line, and they don't get the respect they deserve. These wrestlers like WWE, AEW, and we're going to talk, and I'm going to I'm even going to go as far as WCW and ESW. These wrestlers who put their asses on the line to give us a good show that we deserve. Yeah, we paid. Yeah, you pay a little too much. And I'll tell you right now, when you come to a Nickel City wrestling event, you get 3 straight hours of wrestling, half-hour intermission. The wrestlers come out and sign autographs. They take pictures with you. They enjoy performing for you. Even the ones that are assholes. Yeah, ECW, I'm sorry. I said ESW. That's another independent wrestling. ECW, who busted their asses. They were the kings of hardcore. Those matches, I swear to God, those matches didn't have rules. Let's be honest. They didn't have regular wrestling rules. There's a few other ones that go on that just keep going on and going on and going on and going on and going on. I can go for hours with names. But, you know, that's the things that have to happen. Hell, like the major shows in in Western New York, Nickel City Wrestling, UPW, Buffalo Championship Wrestling, ESW, some of the training facilities, Grapplers Anonymous, Nickel City Compound, the UPW training facility, the I think there's a few other ones that, you know, people are out there training to become professional wrestlers. It's not easy. You may never make the big show. But if you do, look what happens. Perfect example. If anybody watches TNA, Agent Zero wrestles under the name of Bill Kohler. He was ESW champion. He still carries championships in independence. The man's big. He's a huge man. There used to be a wrestler by the name of Unholy Riot. That man was big. He came out, black and white face paint and screamed, but you never heard him scream. He just gave that silent scream. His manager could never take a hit because his manager's body, his bones, were like cotton candy. Jamie, oh yeah, I forgot about him. His brother was there. Also, Colin Delaney, who wrestles out of a bunch of places, has a cereal store, I think it is, up in, unless he closed it, has a cereal store up in Rochester. There's a bunch of independent groups. I'm going to be honest with you. OVW. Yeah. Actually, I'm trying to think who it is. There was a brother team that you really didn't know about, but they wrestled for ESW. You never knew that they were actually brothers. I can't remember who they were, or ESW, yes, Empire State Wrestling. There's been a few different wrestlers. Hell, Pepper Parks, who is back here in New York, used to wrestle on AEW. Butcher and the Blade. His wife was called Cherry Bomb, but now she's called Bunny. Or whatever her name is on AEW. There's been a few other ones. Dewey, for example, he wrestles. There's Dewey. There's a lot of them. Rob Chase Rob Smith. I'm sorry, not Rob Chase. Rob Smith wrestles once in a while. And I don't know if he gave up wrestling and retired, but Tiger Smith used to wrestle. But, you know, some of the bigger conventions, let's not talk about the big conventions for a while. Let's talk about these little ones. Like Flower City Comic-Con, like Syracuse Comic-Con. Like, there's a few other ones in the area, Comic-Cons in the area. Joe D's Toy Show. happens twice a year. Half of what he makes goes to the Variety Club telethon. Also, there's a bunch of different stuff going on, guys. Follow the area, follow the papers, follow everything. If you see an independent wrestling group, an independent wrestling event, try it out. I can guarantee you that it will be the best show you ever seen. You figure, Rob, how much do you think you pay for a ticket, a cheap seat ticket at a WWE event? Not counting taxes and processing fees and that flying crap. But I'm talking actual ticket price. I could tell you it's probably about close to $50 to $100 for the cheap seats, which are all the way up in the middle of nosebleed section. And then if you want floor, you're looking at close to $500. Now 40 for a good seat, or 40 for a seat down in the nosebleed 100 sections. What if I told you a front row seat for an independent wrestling event would run you probably $30? Front row up against the railing. A general admission ticket would cost you $25. Well, yeah, I figured nosebleeds. But now take that $40, okay? That $40 would get you a ringside seat in Batavia for a Nickel City Wrestling event. That $40 would get you a ringside seat at a regular show, plus leave you $10 for merchandise or food. If you wanted to go even cheaper than that, you can go $25, which would leave you probably about $15 in your pocket extra for merchandise and for food. That's our shows, guys. That is the independent shows. The independent shows, these guys bust their asses for a bare minimum. They will push themselves to the limit, get themselves hurt, put themselves out there for you. Hell, there's wrestlers, I could name probably about 30 independent wrestlers who have put shows on for people. Let's go down the list. Mad Dog, Primal Warpath, Shadow Cat, Shadow Jr., Big Ugly, frickin' Mad Dog, Ace Gervais, Sebastian Braun, Kodiak, Mike Gaines, Ty Miller. These guys bust their fucking tails for us, people. They hone their craft after they get off of work. And then you've got the fools. Let's call them the fools. The guys that, I don't want to call them the fools. I'll just call them the guys that are the squash. Like Jay. There's the wrestler Jay. And then there was one like Pinky. He was just a smash wrestler. You smashed him, got rid of him, and match was over. But if you want to see a good show, come to Nickel City Wrestling. Check out a good show. Check out ESW. Check out Buffalo Championship Wrestling. Check out frickin' UPW. Those shows will give you more fun, more time, more effort, and they'll put out more work, and they'll actually speak to you and shake your hand and sign your autographs for you. Most of these guys in the professional world won't come out and do autographs, or it's going to cost you big money. Like, let's say, for example, you wanted an autograph from Ric Flair at a convention. You're talking $50 to $100 or more, depending on what price he sets. But, guys, be safe, be strong. I'm out. Bye.